Hi, welcome back. We have a Kickstarter from Wuben, and it's actually one of the nicest products I've seen from these guys. I really like this form factor. It's kind of a great EDC size, and it's got some really good features as we've come to expect. Wuben never make a product that doesn't have kind of extra innovative features in it, which is why I keep reviewing them. And this time we have the X4. As you can see, it is a great size piece. It's not really small like some of their keychain lights. You know, they're a lot of fun, they're very useful, but I personally like something that, you know, brings some decent lumens, has a really good amount of runtime, and has a reasonable size in the hand and pocket. So this certainly fills a kind of EDC carry type potential. And just to put it up with the Wuben C3, which is their kind of basic EDC flashlight there, so you can see that we have a not too dissimilar length. It's a little shorter, around about the same thickness, but it gives you an idea certainly. And then if we bring up the G5, you know, a lot slimmer in form factor obviously than the G5. This one is really designed more as a kind of hook it on the backpack as a spare or a keychain light, something like that. So it's a lot more robust and a lot larger than the G5. So first impressions, obviously we've got the really nicely machined aluminium body as we come to expect. We've got a very robust sprung steel pocket clip on the back, and as per usual it hasn't got any of the nasty kind of jimping underneath it, so it's not going to chop holes in your pocket when you pull it in and out. It is obviously removable. You can see you've got a keyway on either side there. I think they are Torx or Allens, look like Allens actually, but either way you can take that on or off as you please. Now this is a removable battery. You can see we've got a little clip there that will either lock the battery compartment. So at the moment it's locked, can't open that up, and then if I press up, a nice click, you can definitely feel that, and then just press the button and it springs out, and we should have in here, yeah, an 18650 battery. 18650 rechargeables are pretty popular batteries these days. I mean, a lot of people that were vaping have probably got a selection of 18650s. They're the kind of standard rechargeable larger battery type, and as you can see we've popped it back in, and if we just click that down, click, and then we're back to there, we can't operate that latch. So that's a really good little compartment. We obviously have the front of the torch there. We have a USB-C, which is just behind this. Now that's a slider that we can use to operate the torch, and as we slide it down you can see it actually covers the USB there, but when it's in the first mode you can also charge via the USB. You could also of course take the battery out and charge it and place another battery in there. That's the thing I like about these replaceable batteries, is that you're not stuck recharging the torch and it's not in use. You can just bring a couple of spare batteries that are fully charged up and keep running. So we have that slider, and on the first selection point there we have what looks like a little moon. So that is basically a moonlight option, very low power, ideal for using in a tent or something like that, and you can actually charge while that is selected. Now you can turn that on and off with this main button like so, and that's just a rather pleasing click inwards. You can feel it, it's very tactile, but my absolute favourite is this tactical switch at the rear. Hopefully you can hear this. Oh my god, that is in itself a novelty, just to sit there and kind of click that. It reminds me there's some little EDC sort of fidget toys that you can get that make that kind of noise, but you can turn that moonlight mode on and off using the tail switch if you so wish. If we then move down one, we go to the main beam. Now we're on the main beam. If we were to roll this wheel, you've seen this on a couple of the Wuben torches now, we actually begin to brighten up. Then we'll get to peak brightness. It will flash, telling us we're as bright as we can possibly get at 1500 lumens. And then we can dial down. It'll do the same thing. But you can have anything in between, you know, leave it set as you wish. You can also double click the side button should you wish to take it up to turbo, like so, and it'll go straight up there. If we're in the off position, you can use this very, very tactical button at the back. That will also take you to turbo, and it will just drop off as soon as you take your finger off it. If you double click the rear button like so, then we're into strobe, if that's your thing. Now we come down to what is this sidebar function here. So again, press the side button, you can see this lights up. So that then becomes a very, very useful diffuse reading light, and we can dial it down so at its lowest point there, or we can dial that right up, which again it blinks just to tell you it's at its highest point. But that's a diffuser on there, so it gives a much softer light. Ideal if you're in an enclosed space, if you're in a kind of close environment like a tent or a vehicle and you're looking around in there. The light out of this is slightly yellower as well, so it's just a much softer light than you would normally get out of the front of the torch, and I really like that for general use. I would definitely use this in the dialed down mode for fishing, you know, when I need a bit of light in the tent but I don't want to go too crazy, I don't want to stick the whole bivvy light on, then I would just keep this low light side light here. Now if we double click while that's on, we go into a emergency signal. These aren't things I would particularly use, but they're fun to have. Some people might have use for them, and you can actually get it to run different colors if you keep clicking, double clicks, it'll run different colors for you, and then you can stop it just with one click, click again, and we're back to our normal side light. If when using that side light we hold the button down, we actually go to our RGB, and then we can just dial that for a number of different colors, cycles through them like so. And I've talked about this before, if you're trying to stay covert, you're hunting, something like that, and you're trying to keep the contrast down, then some of these colors are going to be really useful to you. If you're in your tent and you're looking around for something but you don't want to really wake yourself up or wake anyone else up, then a red light's always a good idea. If we're in side light mode and we just hold that side button down, you can see we've got our battery indicator flashing there, and that is about the same as all the Wuben lights, you know, that you get a solid blue I think for 100%, and then as you go down you start to get flashing blue, solid red, flashing red. They will all pertain to how much battery you have left. Last but not least, we have that locking mode there. So in that, we haven't got any action on this button, and we haven't got any action on the tail clip either, so it's completely locked in that mode. Ideal if you're chucking it in a backpack or you've got it in your bag at your side or in your pocket. You really don't want that coming on, especially in your pocket. The ends of these can get pretty hot. They've normally got a warning on them somewhere. Any LED is the same, so you don't want that heating up unnecessarily, and obviously you don't want to get to the end destination and find out you've run all your battery out by just having it sat on in your bag. For me, this is pretty near to the perfect EDC. Really like the form factor, despite it looking quite blocky. It's incredibly comfortable. I absolutely love that tactical tail switch. I could just buy it for that clicking noise all day, but I've come to get quite used to these rotating wheels now also to control how much light I want on the subject. It's nice to be able to dial the light to pretty much whatever you want instead of having to deal with what the manufacturer specified. So if you've got one that will do 3 different light types, you know, low, medium, high, you're just going to be stuck with whatever the manufacturer has dictated. This is just infinite options. So in my opinion, quite a lot better. So far I've been using these, I've been taking them out, carrying them around. I haven't had any issues with these rotating buttons, getting grit in them or getting water in them. I know all the Wuben stuff has been tested to IP rating, so you can sort of drop it in puddles or take it out in rough weather. It's still going to keep functioning. I haven't seen any issues occur from using them in bad weather. I've had them in really cold weather as well. I've taken them to places like Finland, used them over there in the snow, taken them to Sweden. I've had no issues thus far. In England, obviously, we mainly have wet weather. They've endured that just fine. I've just had them sat on the outside of my trouser pocket, so they've got plenty wet. So far, so good. I haven't had any fail on me. Guys, let me know what you think. I will throw a Kickstarter link up. I've got my own code with Wuben now, so if you do buy a Kickstarter product from them, it will generate me nothing special. I'm not going to get rich overnight, but I think it generates me a couple of pounds, something like that. Everything is appreciated, guys, so if you are going to buy one, I really would appreciate you using the link. Please like and subscribe on the channel if you enjoy the content. We've been kind of going from some political content, we've had some EDC content, and then we'll be having some discussion on the upcoming sword ban as well. That's coming up on the channel, so please keep watching. Let me know what you want to see content wise. I'll do my best to put it out there, but obviously I'll continue reviewing these little EDC items because people originally joined the channel for that. It's just morphed into lots of different things, health, all kinds of stuff that we talk about here. If you have used any Wuben lights and you have any comments to make about them, please let me know down below. If you've been really happy, if you've been unhappy, and let me know what you like about this, what you don't like, what you would like to see from Wuben, and they will always take the comments on board and hopefully produce something based on what the fans want rather than just what they think they want. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care. I'll catch you all next time.